Production needs inputs before anything can be sold. Consider the moment when a bakery cannot make bread without flour, ovens, workers, and a shop. Economic output begins with resources arranged into a process. Missing one input can stop the whole business. The answer in Resources and Factors of Production Explained is usually found in the cause, not in the label people attach afterward. The detail is small only until missing one input can stop the whole business starts affecting the decision. Land means natural resources and location. Resources and Factors of Production Explained becomes clearer when a farm uses soil and water while a store uses a busy street corner. Land in economics is broader than empty property. Nature and place both shape what can be produced. Once the cause is named in Resources and Factors of Production Explained, the response can fit the situation more closely. The response improves when land in economics is broader than empty property is named before anyone argues about blame. Labor means human effort and skill. In Resources and Factors of Production Explained, notice when a nurse, driver, designer, and farm worker all supply labor. People bring time, knowledge, strength, judgment, and care. Training can make labor more productive. The link between those pieces is what makes Resources and Factors of Production Explained useful in real life. The clue to watch is whether people bring time, knowledge, strength, judgment, and care before training can make labor more productive. Capital means tools used to produce other things. A familiar Resources and Factors of Production Explained example is when machines, delivery vans, computers, and factory equipment help workers create more output. Capital is not just money in everyday speech. It is the equipment that expands productive capacity. People often feel pressure around Resources and Factors of Production Explained before they can explain where it came from. The most useful question is whether capital is not just money in everyday speech is being treated seriously enough. Entrepreneurship organizes the other factors. In Resources and Factors of Production Explained, the real-world version may be that a restaurant owner chooses the menu, hires staff, rents space, and takes risk. Someone must combine resources into a working plan. Ideas alone do not produce value without coordination. This is the detail that changes what to check next in Resources and Factors of Production Explained. The detail is small only until ideas alone do not produce value without coordination starts affecting the decision. Scarce resources force choices. It shows up in small moments, such as when a city may have land for apartments or parks but not unlimited space for both. Using a resource one way prevents another use. Production always carries opportunity cost. Noticing that driver early can keep Resources and Factors of Production Explained from becoming harder to manage. The response improves when using a resource one way prevents another use is named before anyone argues about blame. Productivity depends on how inputs work together. Look at a case where a skilled carpenter with poor tools may produce less than expected. Labor and capital complement each other. Better combinations can raise output without simply working longer. The headline alone does not show the whole chain behind Resources and Factors of Production Explained. The clue to watch is whether labor and capital complement each other before better combinations can raise output without simply working longer. Technology changes resource needs. A concrete version is when software can reduce paperwork but increase demand for technical skills. Innovation shifts which inputs matter most. Workers and businesses must adapt to the new mix. The background force should guide the next decision in Resources and Factors of Production Explained more than the first reaction. The most useful question is whether innovation shifts which inputs matter most is being treated seriously enough. Natural resources can create wealth and risk. In a normal day, oil, minerals, or fertile land may attract investment. Dependence on one resource can make an economy vulnerable. Prices and environmental limits matter. In Resources and Factors of Production Explained, the clearer reading follows the cause instead of stopping at the visible result. The detail is small only until prices and environmental limits matter starts affecting the decision. Human capital improves labor. Picture the situation where education, health, and experience make workers more effective. A trained electrician can solve problems faster and safer. Investment in people becomes part of production capacity. The moment becomes easier to handle when the moving part is named clearly in resources and factors of production explained. The response improves when a trained electrician can solve problems faster and safer is named before anyone argues about blame. Financial capital helps acquire real capital. The clearest version is when a loan may allow a factory to buy equipment. Money connects plans with tools and buildings. Financing matters because production often requires upfront spending. That mechanism explains why the topic affects real choices in resources and factors of production explained. The clue to watch is whether money connects plans with tools and buildings before financing matters because production often requires upfront spending. Entrepreneurs face uncertainty. In resources and factors of production explained, someone may notice that a founder opens a cafe without knowing if enough customers will come. Resources are committed before results are guaranteed. Profit rewards successful coordination and risk-bearing. Seeing the cause early gives people more room to respond well in resources and factors of production explained. The most useful question is whether resources are committed before results are guaranteed is being treated seriously enough. Governments influence factors of production. Watch what happens when zoning, education, infrastructure, and taxes change what businesses can do. Policy can make resources easier or harder to use. Production is shaped by rules as well as markets. In resources and factors of production explained, the visible event can distract from the driver that needs attention. The detail is small only until production is shaped by rules as well as markets starts affecting the decision. Resource prices guide decisions. Resources and factors of production explained becomes concrete when rising wages may lead firms to automate some tasks. Higher input costs push businesses to adjust methods. Prices signal where scarcity is increasing. When resources and factors of production explained appears in real life, this is the detail to check first. The response improves when higher input costs push businesses to adjust methods as named before anyone argues about blame. Waste lowers output. For example, unused machines, idle staff, spoiled inventory, and poor scheduling reduce productivity. Having resources is not enough if they are poorly managed. Organization can be as valuable as ownership. In resources and factors of production explained, this is the point where the visible choice and the real pressure start to meet. The clue to watch is whether having resources is not enough if they are poorly managed before organization can be as valuable as ownership. Global trade moves resources indirectly. In real life, a phone may combine minerals, design, labor, and shipping from many countries. Production networks cross borders. Supply disruption in one place can affect buyers everywhere. That is why resources and factors of production explained should be read through facts rather than a quick assumption. The most useful question is whether production networks cross borders is being treated seriously enough. Factor income goes to owners of inputs. Think about how workers earn wages, landowners receive rent, lenders receive interest, and owners may earn profit. Income flows from the role each input plays. This helps explain how production connects to household earnings. For resources and factors of production explained, the important move is to notice the chain from first signal to final effect. The detail is small only until this helps explain how production connects to household earnings starts affecting the decision. Sustainability changes resource thinking. A simple resources and factors of production explained case is this. A forest can produce timber today or remain a long-term ecological asset. Using resources too quickly can damage future production. Economics must consider time, not only immediate output. That sequence explains why resources and factors of production explained can grow even when the first moment looks small. The response improves when using resources too quickly can damage future production is named before anyone argues about blame. A business idea fails without the right inputs. Resources and factors of production explained appears when demand for a product means little if labor, materials, permits, or equipment are missing. Production is the bridge between desire and delivery. Resource planning turns opportunity into reality. The early sign matters in resources and factors of production explained because it can change cost, trust, timing, or emotional meaning. The clue to watch is whether production is the bridge between desire and delivery before resource planning turns opportunity into reality. Resources and factors of production explained needs to be understood through a specific real-life case. One ordinary resources and factors of production explained version is that resources and factors of production explain how economies actually make things. Land, labor, capital, and entrepreneurship must come together before value reaches customers. Understanding those inputs makes prices, wages, shortages, and business risks easier to understand. The pattern in resources and factors of production explained is easier to handle when the first signal is noticed instead of dismissed. The most useful question is whether land, labor, capital, and entrepreneurship must come together before value reaches customers is being treated seriously enough.